and then went to their ground to play them last weekend, and they haven't lost a game since the Abbey beat them and turned them over seven something. It's just crazy. You just sit there and you think, how the hell has that happened? Do you know
I
what I
know.
mean? You've only gone there and beaten by seven.
Yeah, listen, mate. If I knew, like I said, it's a bit ironic. No one's allowed to bet on football. Um, Most of us get it all wrong anyway.
Yeah,
You look at your league and think, oh, well, this might happen there, that might happen there, this will happen there, and it's not like that now. It's just not like it. So, yeah, we had the weekend off, which was all right, quite nice to be honest. But you
just
will
don't.
try and keep it going.
Yeah, you don't want that going on for too much longer, do you?
Nah, not now. We're Saturday. You know what I mean? All the way
Yeah.
through until I think it's January I think the 7th. We've got a game now. That one called off Saturday's been rearranged for the Tuesday after the 3rd.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got that in. But yeah, it's all right if you've got a Saturday, Tuesday coming up. But when you ain't got them Tuesdays, you don't want to be too long without a game, like you say.
Because you get to that stage now, when it gets to this sort of this sort of time of the year, and all of a sudden it's before you know what's going on, you're miles behind, loads of games behind, and it ends up being
Yeah,
chaos.
yeah, we're quite fortunate now. I think our league's pretty even. I think some teams might have a couple more games still, but we had a good FA Cup run. But the league side of things is quite sort of there's no one really who's got a load of games in. I mean, when we first went in at Faversham, I think some teams had like 6, 7, 8 games in hand. It was a real sort of false sense of security. Um, but this year, it seems, thankfully, that's the first one. But there's so many 3G pitches in our league now, Dave.
Yeah.
So, if we was at home, it's a no-brainer. It's done. It's on. But obviously, we weren't.
How many teams in your league now then have actually got it?
Oh God, I don't know off the top of my head. I would say nearly. It's got to be double figures. I'd have thought.
Wow.
I'd have thought this is me finger in the air, but there
Wow.
seems to be, like Bay have got it now, haven't they? So they've converted into it. Um, Three Bridges have converted into it. So there's a couple of relatively new ones. Someone's I'm not sure. Is Jersey Bulls 3G? I think that is as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
not.
say
I'm
for
not,
sure.
mate. To be fair, but there's a few of them around now. So at least we let you know the game's going to be on.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the let's start that again. Where are we? There we go. Well, welcome to the Reposs Non-League Show, and we're pleased to say Tommy's, of course, old friend of the show, has come back to join us, and of course, Faversham manager as well. But Tommy, I mean, we were just sitting there, both of us, with the TV on in the background and watching this. Might as well start there first. I know it's not necessarily non-league, but let's just go in there with the FA Cup draws and your side Spurs pulling out Aston Villa.
Yeah, toughie. A real tough one. Obviously, their result of the weekend shows what a good manager he is over there. You know, he, and I think it's a bit ironic. I think they were down the bottom, but there's that 6 on the spin they've won now or 5, and they've just catapulted up to
Yeah.
3 points behind Arsenal. So at least we're at home. Not that, to be honest, Brentford was the first win at home for a while, but yeah, you got the home draws. So, but yeah, that's probably I'd have thought the toughest neck and neck. I know there's a few Premiership ties in there, but that one sort of stuck out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them. I mean, some of the games will go down. I mean, we'll also go through, of course, the Vars draw has been done today as well. But we'll start with the FA Cup one, and this is what Wolves versus Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury must have a chance. Doncaster Rovers versus Southampton, Tottenham Villa, Port Vale Fleetwood Town, Preston North End Wigan, Ipswich Town versus Blackpool, Wrexham versus Nottingham Forest. Is that guaranteed TB game?
Yeah, I'd have thought so. I'd have thought so, mate, with what's going on at Wrexham um, and Forest, to be fair.
Yeah, another guaranteed one, Charlton v Chelsea.
Oh, lovely.
Man City versus Exeter, West Ham versus Queens Park Rangers. Oh, that's another one. I mean, Queens Park Rangers, if they turn up on the day, that's a chance for them to knock out West Ham.
especially at West Ham. They can
Yeah.
keep them quiet for a little while, and the crowd start. But that's a
Mm,
good old fashioned fixture. That was back in the day.
mm.
QPR v West Ham.
Sheffield Wednesday, Brentford, Fulham, Middlesbrough, another toughie there. Middlesbrough on a good run. Everton versus Sunderland, Liverpool versus Barnsley. I wonder if Mo Salah, well, I think he's out away anyway, isn't he, in the African nations? I'm
Yeah.
not sure if he's back by then. Burnley versus Millwall, Norwich versus Walsall, Portsmouth versus my side Arsenal, Derby v Leeds, as they were saying on there, was that a Cloughie
Rough.
derby.
Yeah.
Swansea, West Brom, Salford, Swindon, Boreham Wood versus Brackley or Burton.
Unbelievable. I mean, that is the odds of that happening, especially when Luke's up there watching the game at night, because obviously you said they had him Saturday. So I
Yeah.
wonder why he was up there. He might have gone up for the draw, but if they've got him Saturday, he's gone up
Mm.
obviously for that, and he's had the added bonus now of seeing them tonight and obviously drawing them in the next round of the FA Cup again. At least they're at home, Bournemouth.
Yeah, and then Grimsby, Western Superman. I mean, the three non-league clubs there, they've got to be disappointed not to pull out
Yeah,
a big tie. And as I was saying there before we came on, you would hope that one day that they would actually sort of get it where if these non-league sides and they get to the third round that they're guaranteed like a Premier League team.
yeah. It's a real shame because no disrespect to the teams they've pulled out. You've how many games, God knows how many games they've played to get to this stage and to not really get a lucrative deal. Um, the only plus you hope is that obviously if the telly goes there as well, and
Mm,
there's a few more quid coming their way. But yeah, unfortunately, I think everyone, all three of the teams, will be disappointed uh, that they haven't been rewarded, better in the draw.
mm. Hull City, Blackburn, Newcastle, Bournemouth, MK Dons, Oxford, Cheltenham, Leicester, Cambridge, Birmingham, Bristol City, Watford, Stoke City versus Coventry City, and a non-league side that has been rewarded, Macclesfield versus Crystal Palace.
Oh, that's a nice one. There, that is a nice one.
Man United, Brighton, and Sheffield United versus Mansfield.
Man United, Brighton.
Yeah.
Yes, he could do without that as well, couldn't he? A few managers like Liverpool, there's a potential banana skin there, especially with them at the moment. I mean, it looks like they've not even included Mo Salah, have they, for the
No.
trip to Italy? So it looks like he's going to be on his way out of there, unless Slot goes. I
Mm,
don't know. It's just as soon as things go wrong in football now, you just see the other side of it that perhaps some people don't see.
mm,
Like you say, it's all good when it's all rosy in the garden, but when it goes wrong, that's when you want to be united as a club. And unfortunately, it doesn't really go that way. And I get it after a certain amount, but not when everything's so tight.
mm,
Um, it's just a shame, but that's what that's the nature of the beast.
mm. Well, we've got FA Vars as well because that was pulled out today. The last 32
Hmm.
as well was pulled out. And there might be some teams in here, of course, that you know as well from playing in it last season, etc., etc. But you've got Droylsden versus Sherwood Collier, South Liverpool versus Winsford United or Prestwick Hayes, Chaddington versus North Shore. Isn't Chaddington where Clarkson's farm is?
Pass
I'm
on that
sure that's
one.
where it is. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
West Dinsbury and Chorlton versus Nelson, Coventry United versus GNG Oadbury Town, Bilston Town versus Grisley Rovers, Heather St John's versus Gornham Athletic or Grantham Town, Tunbridge Wells or Windsor and Eton versus Fisher, Reading
Well,
City versus Linmore Gardens. Is that a good one then, Tommy?
I think it's a shame that they've been drawn together. Tunbridge Wells v Fisher.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really. I mean, Fisher have done brilliant. They were a real handful when we played them last year, and I think everyone knows Tunbridge Wells is a real, you know, their home form, and that pitch does suit them a lot more than what It's again and not an easy place to go and get a result. But we went there about I think three times for one game last year. They had problems with their pitch over there, so hopefully they've got over that because obviously it hurt them as well because they had so many games to play for all the games that were called off or abandoned.
Mm.
Um, But again, they're at home, but it's a shame that they've been drawn against each other. That's a really tough tie.
But
Again, another one of them you couldn't call.
yeah, I mean they've got to beat Windsor and Eton first,
Yeah.
but that's on the cards. But Reading City versus Linmore Gardens, Benfleet versus Punjab United,
Oh,
Cockfosters versus Crawley Down Gatwick, Great Yarmouth Town versus Haywards Heath Town, Harpington Town, and their ground's 3G as well, but it's a real sort of like smallish sort of ground as well, because I was there last year myself against the champions, Winstable Town.
they're away. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, Hallen or Hamwell Recreation versus Hive and Dibden. Buckley Athletic or Barnstable Town versus AFC Stoneham, and Bobby Tracy or Downton versus Slimbridge or Amesbury Town.
Can't have a Bob. What's that one, Bobby?
Bovey Tracy or
Bobby Tracy.
Downton,
Christ, where's that? I've never.
or versus Slimbridge or Amesbury Town.
Yeah, that's the thing with the VAR's, the beauty of it. There's some of these teams that you just never, no not being disrespectful, you never heard of half of them.
Yeah,
But they're obviously all the same level. Some might be a little bit lower, but that's not too bad a trip for the Punjab boys.
yeah,
I mean, that's a tough one over in it's Essex, isn't it? They're going to go to now, isn't it?
yeah.
Benfleet. And which the ball travel where they got to go to?
Winstable Harpington.
Where's that? Is that Hertfordshire?
Yeah,
Yeah. Again, so yeah, yeah. So like I said, I'm sure they'd all want the home draws, but it's nice to there's still three Kent teams in there at the moment with Tunbridge Wells, Whitstable, and Punjab, and I'm pleased for the Punjab boys because we've got a good relationship with them, and I know a lot. Obviously I know a lot of the boys anyway from all the teams, but um, I've got a lot of time for the Punjab lads as well, so it's nice to see them having a good run in the Vars.
well,
What's that?
Bovey
32? Is that the last 32? That
last
thing?
32. Yeah, Bovey
Yeah.
Tracy is in South Devon.
Christ. Well, then I'm fair enough. I'm allowed not to know where that is, aren't
Could
I?
you imagine if they would have pulled out Grantham? That would have been a game, wouldn't it?
Oh God. Yeah. I'm right in saying it's still a little bit regionalised
I
now, though,
think it
isn't it?
must be, yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
must be,
Yeah.
yeah, because North Shields are at the top end of that draw. So, yeah, I would have thought so. Must be. But then you sort of talk about those draws and you look at, the likes of a team that, of course, come on every week and unfortunately not going to be with us today, Merthyr. They were in the FA Cup, I think it was, and they pulled a team out from Devon. But they're actually in the northern Vanarama North or Enterprise North as it is now, and yeah, they're playing teams that are down in Cornwall. It's just crazy. We worked it out last week that the team in Cornwall against South Shields, who they played in the league, these are 9.5 hour travel time between the two areas.
You know what? And again, thankfully it's on a Saturday. Imagine that on a Tuesday night. You see some of the draws, some of the games that come up midweek, and some of them trips, they are relentless on a Tuesday night.
Well,
You
South
know,
Shields had to travel to Merthyr on a Tuesday night.
oh, that's it was the gent that was on last time I come on last season, and he was down at their I think their every away game was miles away.
Oh, that was Mousel. Yeah, down in
Yeah,
Cornwall. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Really nice bloke. Come on
yeah.
every week. Yeah,
Nearly,
every away game for them.
almost 9,000 miles league travel this year. 9,000 miles just for league games. That's
Yeah,
without FA Trophy and FA Cup and all the rest of it.
so
9,000 miles.
it's mad, and this is where the boys do struggle. With their work and they do lose money, obviously,
Mm,
with half a day or whatever they're going to do.
mm,
And if they're employed, they've got to try and get that off. If they're
mm,
self-employed, it's a little bit easier. But yeah, that's when this time of year with the rain and the
mm,
postponements, this is when you just have your fingers crossed that the games are on because it can change from one week to the next if someone can't get any time off. And as we were saying before we come on, the beauty of our situation is that we know that every home game's going, well, 99.9% of the time. I think it's only snow that can affect our game sort of not going ahead. Apart from that, if it's rain or whatever, as horrible as it is, we went down three bridges the other week and it absolutely pelted down all through the game. all through it, never eased off. And obviously last year, I think that wouldn't have finished.
Yeah. We had the same situation when I was down at Waltham Abbey. It was absolutely, and there's his grass, but it was hammering down on the top of the stand, like, as I say, from at least 75 minutes to the 90 minutes. It was just hammering down. But you'd expect the ball, years ago down at Waltham Abbey's pitch, you wouldn't have stood a chance. It would have been abandoned at some point, if not played at all. And then but every time the ball bounced on their pitch, there wasn't even a splash of water at all. No sign
Crazy,
of
isn't it?
water. Their drainage over there, what the guy's done over there for that football club, pitch wise, is incredible. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, the pitch now is like looks like 3G if you're actually looking at it from a distance. Do you know what I mean? And there's literally there was no water, no surface water on the pitch at all. It was just crazy, crazy,
Yeah, so
crazy.
it doesn't, it's not getting it. It's not going to let it cut up as well.
Yeah.
Is the massive plus because that's when it becomes obviously dangerous when it all cuts up and you get a that's when you get your boots obviously caught in it and whatever. But yeah, we've not we didn't. The good thing is for Crowborough, fair play. The other thing that used to drive me mad was that teams were having a pitch inspection at 11 o'clock, and you'd be like, everyone's obviously on their way by then, or whatever. So I don't know why they just can't pitch inspections are at 9 o'clock. To be fair to Crowborough, um, I think I got at 10 o'clock, but I know Sean and obviously Emery played for me at two clubs, and I was in touch with him quite a bit, and they let us know straight away. So no stupid games of making people travel and then calling it off en route. So yeah, we had a free Saturday.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at your fixtures, Tommy. I mean, what is it about November this year? Do you like the number four? Because you've gone down 4-1 to Eastbourne, 4-1 to Deal, then beat Seven Oaks 4-0, Three Bridges 4-2, and VCD 4-2.
I know, I know. To be fair, all of the games, the one thing with our teams, we do create a lot of chances. So every game should be around that mark if we take our chances. But we started it, obviously, I think that we had, someone was saying we were like 30 game unbeaten run or something. And that come to an end with the first 4-1. And again, it was a game where I thought we should have been in front at half time, as mad as it sounds, but fair play to them. They dug in, and obviously we went to Deal on a Tuesday night, which isn't the nicest place to go. No disrespect to Deal, but it was again a gale force wind down the pitch, and we've come unstuck. I think two of the goals were in like 92nd, 94th minute. We were down to 10 men. We didn't deserve nothing out of the game. They were miles better than us on the night. But obviously, it was a test for us because we've lost two games. And what I was saying to you earlier about football now, um, it's important not to have that overreaction to it. You've just got to be honest with yourself with the two performances and address it.
Mm.
And then we finished December really well with three wins and 12 goals. So we finished it strongly, which was important. And the most important thing is to be in and around uh, the top of the table where thankfully we are at the moment.
I mean, looking at the some of the other scores, the other one that sort of stands out of the page, of course, is back on the 30th of September in the Velocity Cup, 5-all.
Oh, don't. Yeah, that was the Ashford one. I think the goalie got sent off as well, bang on for the penalties for us that night. Yeah, to be honest, no disrespect to the Velocity Cup and whatever. I think it was, Lloyd was, he's got to look after his situation. But for us, we literally played everyone that wasn't getting any minutes. We had a fresh goalie that hadn't played for a while, so that was the only plus for us. It was a competition that we entered, and I know you got options to um, pull out of it this year if you didn't want to go in it. But we said we'd take it because like any competition, once you get to them later stages, it becomes everyone wants a little cup final at the end of
Mm.
it. But we were fortunate enough to get home draws with it because sometimes you could pull out a real pig and have a Tuesday night travelling down to I don't know I forget that team that we used to play in the Ryman North because there's some over there that are right down by uh, Caister and Yarmouth and all down there, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's
like
some teams down there.
Wroxham and those, yeah, Wroxham,
That's
Dereham.
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
That's the kiddies. Yeah, imagine getting them on a Tuesday night, and it can disrupt your season, especially if you're having a good run in other cups. So
yeah.
yeah, that 5-all was an entertaining game, and they even saw 10 penalties. So
Who won the penalties?
they did.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, they did. I'm not. I think they're still in it. I know they got a home draw. I think the next one. Um, but yeah, it was. I think it's one of them exercises for everyone that the team you put out is still good enough to go and make a fist of it. Because they're part of the squad, and our squad at the moment, we've just got another player back from a long-term injury. Our squad's really really competitive now, all around the pitch for places. So I've got lads that would normally play and start for me that are having to be patient because the boys that have gone in have done really well.
Mm,
And obviously for me, it's pretty simple. You keep your shirt. If you take someone out of the side that's playing really well and performing, I don't get the logic behind it. And I know this tiredness thing kicks in and whatever, but we're talking about now playing Saturday, 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 Saturday. Um, and even if it was a Saturday, Tuesday for a little while, I'm whether I'm right or wrong, but I'm one of them managers. I'm not into all this tiredness stuff. I think that's a state of mind. I think if you're winning, nobody's tired. If you're drawing or losing, obviously, he
mm,
looks a bit. It's another thing to throw in the equation now.
mm. Well, it's funny you said about Wroxham because you know how far away that was. I always remember when I was doing the stuff for Harlow and we were in the East Mid North, and for 2 or 3 seasons in a row, their first away game of the season on a Tuesday night was Wroxham. Down to the fact that what it was that Wroxham's like nearest opponents were like Norwich United, and the likes of Dereham, these type of people, Milden Hall when they were there. But after that, their next nearest opponent was Harlow. So
Jesus.
because
Mm,
the other games that we played, like New Year's Day, Boxing Day, and bank holidays, the first game of the season was like your local playing against your local team. But because of how far away they were, you're travelling up there. And I did when I was match day secretary, I did a couple of journeys up there on a Tuesday night. Do you know what I mean? And getting back at I don't know 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that in the morning, just crazy,
yeah,
absolutely crazy.
and obviously you're in rush hour traffic as well, weren't you? So
Yeah.
it's it is there's a you can see why obviously divisions are regionalised, but you always get that odd curve, that one curveball in there. I mean, like we play Deal, and it takes us. Deal's in Kent, where I live in Kent, but it takes me longer to get to Deal than it does to get to Three Bridges, down by Gatwick Airport. And that's in Sussex, so it don't necessarily. Kent's a big county. We've got to go to Hassocks. That's that's just as far as probably what Deal is. We've been to Margate away, thankfully. But yeah, it's just this time of year now. You just want, I don't mind the cold and whatever, but when it starts raining, then you get the torrential rain that we've been getting. I just hate that. Thursday night at training, do you reckon the game will be on? Because it was raining Thursday night. And I said, of course it will. Just get our mindset right. Just make sure you got your right footwear because it's going to be boggy and whatever. But then Friday night, I heard it thundering against me, patio doors and whatever. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, here we go. So I text my secretary to say, look, if it is called off, can we just like have a look at some dates to get the game in and talk to them about it and then yeah, lucky enough, I got a message at 9 o'clock saying there's a pitch inspection at 10, and I didn't pass it on, but now social media it comes up pitch
Mm,
inspection. So, but I don't like that because of like I said, it's not hard to prepare, but you're just waiting. But thankfully, at least we didn't get the stupid 11 o'clock pitch inspection where everyone's already set off and having to turn around. Obviously, looking at the forecast for the whole day as well. Um, if it's not good at 9, it ain't going to be good at
mm,
3 when it starts raining again.
yeah.
So, but
So
yeah, fair play to
what's your furthest journey away then? What's the one that
Jersey,
takes you longest?
Jersey.
Oh, we got yeah, Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, Jersey Bulls. But saying that, it's actually like we was talking to the lads there after the game, having a beer with their management. They said it's 40 minutes. The flight's 40 minutes. It takes us an hour and 20 minutes to get the deal.
Wow.
But obviously with them, it's getting there before the flight.
Yeah.
It's all the time leading up for it. But he says when you actually think about it, we go to the airport, we're 40 minutes over the thing, and then some of it like last weekend they was in where were they last? But they was in Sussex, I think. So yeah, was it Hastings last week they played. Can't think who they played, but they had a game in. So obviously Gatwick's in Sussex, and they were like 20 minutes, half hour to get to the game, and then back on. It's just the like anything with the airports. It's just getting there the 2 hours before. But yeah, Jersey Bulls have got them in February, so
Yeah,
hopefully,
21st. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully that's all hunky dory. Because again, it's just the weather in it for the
Yeah.
flights, not so much because we were talking before. I'm not sure if they're 3G. Someone said they were,
I'll have
but
a look
I'm
at
not.
it.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. So
Well, 4 o'clock kickoff as well.
yeah, I don't get that one.
Hmm.
I would have got it earlier. There must be some reason behind that. I don't know. I mean, I don't, I'm pretty sure we're staying down there. Um, I'm pretty sure. I'm not. Listen, I don't know, but yeah, I saw that and wondered what that was about. There, whether there's something going on that day in Jersey, or it doesn't ring any bells for me. But yeah, I saw the 4 o'clocker, so that'd be a real tough one as well because obviously they're going to be really strong at home.
Yeah.
They were really good at our place, to be fair. But some weekends they again struggle getting some of the lads away, especially midweek games.
Hmm.
So we've played them at home and we've got to go there, like I said, in February, which will which
Yeah.
which they should be like full strength.
And it is 3G.
There you go. Yeah, there's another one then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So rain or whatever's not a problem. It's just the flights.
You've been there before.
No, Guernsey, done the Guernsey one, not Jersey.
You want to invite Keith to come with you. He enjoys those trips.
Yeah, well, to be fair, they're if you've got them on a Saturday or whatever, it's and I'm not sure if we want to make a weekend of it or whatever. I mean, some of we were talking about going perhaps earlier and making a long weekend of it or something like that. I don't know, but we've got a lot of games to play in between now and then. So the most important thing is to be up and around it and go in there in them circumstances.
Mm. So talk to us a little bit about the ending of last season. Of course, finally managing to get Faversham back up to step four. I mean, talk us through the last few weeks of that. Was it straight up? Was it playoffs? I mean, how did Faversham get up back up?
No, we won the league, so we went up as champions, thankfully, because the year before we just fell short in the playoffs. Um, we come in at January time, and again we went into the playoffs 14 game unbeaten run, and unfortunately, playoff night. To be fair, we just had one of them games which happens in the season. We just didn't really turn up for some reason, and no one see it coming, especially with the form we was in. And we lost to Corinthians, who deserved it really on the night. And that's horrible because I've had a midweek playoff losses, and it's the worst thing in the world. Your season finishes on a Tuesday night, and you really, then it sits in as a whole season's worth of work, or in our case, sort of 5 months worth of work. Sort of, you've got to go through that again all next year. And fair play to the lads because I said to them afterwards, I congratulate every single one just because to be champions and go up as champions in any league
Mm,
is a tough thing. I said, but you won't get any recognition for it because everyone will go, well, Faversham should have won it,
mm,
and it wasn't like that. So fair play to them. And then this year, we've sort of blended in a little bit more, and there's not so much of that um, sort of attitude or towards us regarding if we won, you're supposed to win. If you lose, it was like last season, it was like the biggest shock in the world.
mm,
Um, Thankfully, we didn't lose a lot of games last year, but even the draws become an issue because we were drawing and not winning. But the one thing I kept saying was all these points will make a difference, and you're taking 2 points off of the opposition as well, no matter who they are. So, but to do it as champions and then to just pick up this year and start how we have started again. People will talk about, oh, when we lost to these and, when we had our losses. And I'm like, we've had an unbelievable start. We had a really good FA Cup run. Um, Disappointed to go out the trophy early, but we had a fantastic FA Cup run where we ended up going out to Ebbsfleet and we gave them a good game, especially in the second half. and we're sitting 3 points. Well, not now so much. We didn't play Saturday, um, but you know we're up there. So it's a great start. And it's something that I definitely don't take for granted, because there's going to be some real tough games ahead. And we're coming up to sort of roughly the first half of the season, and there's been no shoe-ins or no givens or no that was an easy game or whatever. Even when some of the results might think, oh, that was it looks like there was an easy game, but it wasn't. They've been real tough games this year. Teams are a lot more organised, got a lot more structure. Last year was a lot more, um, I would say, work ethic, and just rawness. Last year, obviously there was, again, football has moved on, and there's some really good football being played, but the work rate for some of them boys last year, that we were playing against was unbelievable. So we've just tried to sustain what we do, and so far we're doing okay.
What was the game that got you promoted last year?
Tunbridge Wells away.
So what was the build up like going into that game?
Do you know what? Do you know what, Dave? I said to the lads, because the pitch was horrendous. It was horrendous. So we just needed a point. I think it was to go up. But I just said, right, if we get a free kick, everyone go up. If you can reach the box, everyone go up. You could not play football on that football pitch. If we get a throw in and we can get everyone go up, and we ended up scoring from a set piece, 1-0. That was it. But the pitch was cut up. It was really boggy. It was a windy night. It would have been lovely to have done it at home,
Mm.
on a Saturday, but it wasn't. It was Tuesday night away at Tunbridge Wells, and then we had Lordswood at home on the last game of the season, where we got the trophy and everything given to us. But yeah, it was really pleasing, and I'm really pleased for everyone down there, because they have had a tough time of it, over the last few years,
Mm.
and to get relegated with the players they had down there as well was a shock.
Yeah.
But I think introducing the 3G pitch, because again, no disrespect to the club, it was always known as it wasn't the best place in the world to go. And now when you go there, it's just a different animal. Everything, the bar's been done, bars are done up. The pitch is now, beautiful. It just makes it look a lot tidier. Gates are going up, and like I said, at the moment we've started the season really well. But the expectation levels are still there, and I get that. But we put that on ourselves anyway. Um, but it's just that important part of not to overreact when the things don't go right, because you are going to get games like that throughout the season. So to sort of coming up to halfway through the season and be where we are, we should be more than happy with that.
So how many did you get a lot come? Did you get a lot go down to Tunbridge Wells on that
To
night?
be fair, yeah, there was. To be fair, because again, it was a real horrible night. But I think we would have took 100, something. Our away support's really good.
Mm.
It is really good. And the one thing they do is they go there and they do enjoy themselves. And we've been fortunate enough to do all right away from home as well
Mm.
as at home. Obviously, at home there's a little bit more intensity, a little bit more pressure on you.
Mm.
Um, But we've, like I said, the start we've had and the start since we've been in there, I'd like to think that we're going in the right direction.
Mm. So I mean, this year though, going into, I mean, how many of the team from your championship winning team last year stay with you? Did you keep them all, or have you brought in sort of players that are more used to playing at step four, or a few of them?
Yeah, no, I bought in Big Enny from Dover, big centre forward who was sub for a lot of the games last year for Dover and got a game every now and then. And just said to him that just just play regular, just you'll get regular football. I said unless obviously you're having one. I
Mm.
said, but it's your chance to come in and get a regular shirt. And he's been a revelation for us. I mean, he started off at Fisher, so straight away, I love that as well, because Fisher are a really well drilled, really very good side, um, and we knew he'd have the right attitude. So we brought Annie in. as the season's gone on, we brought Ethan Smith in and Frankie Smith from Herne Bay, but we kept the majority of last season. We kept the majority of the team in because they've played at this level. Um, so it's not like we've not come in and hid behind the fact that we've just gone up. I've gone in there and just said to the boys, sort of, why not? Let's see if we can get in there and make a fist of it. We're not asking you to play out of a comfort zone. You've all played at this level. We just get on with it. We don't want to hide behind, oh, we've come up from a league. That's what I'm saying about the expectations and whatever. We do that ourselves, but
Mm.
the majority of these boys have played at this level anyway. So, but we've never been one of them managements that aim everyone out and bring another lot in, because I think that's not really unless you jump up levels and then you've got to adjust to it, because
Mm.
the level above is obviously a different animal, and so is the one above that. We found that out in the Conference South with our days at Tunbridge. When you're losing all your better players to the Mason were on the rise then, with a good crowd and obviously well funded. So we were losing a lot of players to them, and we were trying to bring players in. It just it's just them fine margins. But as much as they give everything they could, we just you just lose that little bit of quality. So the league we're in at the moment's a tough league, but it's a league that we know we've not gone in of all with all fear, or we've just gone in to sort of play our way, believe in what we do, and see where it takes us. And like I said earlier, thankfully at the moment, um, we cannot be too unhappy as a football club to see where we are.
I mean, yeah, sitting fourth. I mean, what, 6 points behind, but a game in hand on three bridges. I mean, when you went in there, who was the sides that you thought were the ones that were going to be pushing for the title along with yourself? I mean, was it the likes of Sittingbourne and Margate and Mersham, these type of
Yeah,
clubs?
yeah, the boys that were in and around the playoffs last year. I thought Ashford would be, and I still think Ashford will come good and come up the table. Um, but obviously, we didn't know a lot about Jersey Bulls, but they're another tough side. But yeah, the ones you've really mentioned, Three Bridges were always up there last year. Um, and you've got the likes of Merstham, who are, a very good side. Sittingbourne's always a tough place. But yeah, you just don't know. There's always a late runner, and right, at the end of it, you always get a late runner. So you've only got to have a good sort of February and March, and you can be. We were talking about Aston Villa earlier. Look, they were right down the bottom 5 games ago, 6 games ago, and they've gone on that run, and now they're 3 points off the top. So that's the most important thing. It's not so much to look at where you're in the league. I mean, before Saturday, we were sitting second, 3 points off of it.
Mm.
Now we're 6 points off of it, and it looks like a bigger.
Yeah,
But we didn't
big
play
task. Yeah.
Saturday. You can't do nothing about it. You've got to have that realism. All it has done, obviously, is put a little bit more emphasis on winning that game in hand.
Mm.
I said, but you can't do nothing about that. But the most important, you can be third from bottom. If we were fourth from bottom or third from bottom, and we were sort of 9 points off of a playoff spot, I'd still, I wouldn't be panicking, because it's just that little run. And the playoffs the one thing about the playoffs, they have stopped the stigma of most of the clubs seeing where you are in the new year. And if you're nowhere near it, they normally draw the money
Mm.
and then, concentrate for next season. Oh, we're safe, we're not going to go down. But now you've got that little incentive of the playoffs. It keeps the season alive a lot more.
Mm. I mean, you got Bottom this weekend because team that's now above you in Croydon. I mean, difficult game.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, again, on paper, it's a really difficult game. But like I said to you earlier, mate, we played Beckenham and East Grinstead at home, and second from bottom and bottom. And to be fair, especially Beckenham game, we were lucky to come away. We won it, but we really that they should have beaten us. Really, they were really good on the day. And East Grinstead, 2-1. It's not like the Tonkin that everyone think that you'd give them. Bear in mind, I think they lost the week before heavily. Um, you just don't know. You've just got to just concentrate on yourself and not look at the league positions, because yeah, on paper, of course, it's a tough game because they're up there with us. Like after that, I think it's we've got a tough one with Broadbridge Heath, who are a very very good side. I really rated them down at their place, and we got a really good 3-1 down there on a Tuesday night. And then coming into the new year, obviously again another good side, a really good side in Whiteleaf.
Mm.
Um, and we went down their place and won 3-0. Um, but obviously since then they've got themselves together and pulled off some really great results. I think, well, I don't think him and he got manager of the month last month, so they've had a really good November. And they've shot straight back up. So yeah, it's a tough. When we got in between that, you've got Sheppey on. Well, it's not the Boxing Day, but the day after. And again, Sheppey are on a run at the moment. So and that's away. So again, a real tough December. But I wouldn't. If we're playing a team at the bottom, I still would never take anything for granted.
Is that disappointing though, not to be playing Boxing Day?
Oh, do you know
Traditional
what?
traditional day.
Last year, because I went in January the year before. So, but last year we never had it, and then this year, I was surprised because I thought the Ryman would be New Year's Day, Boxing Day,
Yeah.
but obviously because of it falling on the Saturday, yeah, I mean it's just I mean Christmas is everyone's time to go and have a drink and enjoy himself, and if you're in football and you're doing it properly, it's always been your time. New Year's Eve was never about having a drink and seeing a new year in, and Christmas Day was never about overindulging and
Mm.
because of the next day. And then after, my Boxing Day was my Christmas Day,
Mm.
and vice versa. But this year, yeah, we go the 3rd of Jan and the 27th of December. So the only nice thing is it keeps you in your routine of being a Saturday,
Mm.
because sometimes you get thrown out a little bit. But now we're playing both games on a Saturday, so that's the only thing that can you can take something out of. But also Christmas Day is Thursday, so you're not gonna definitely ain't gonna be training Thursday.
Why not?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? To be fair,
How many clubs do you think in the game previous to that get a good hiding? That going well, get a good hiding, and the manager turns around and says, "Well, training's Thursday night."
yeah. Do you know what? That's what you call management. Because if you do that, it's that ain't right. That's not the way. That's not the way to. If you do that, then fair play to you. But that's not the way to get a reaction from your lads. Because you are, like I keep telling everyone, I have to say it a lot now. As a team, you are going to be rubbish 3 times a year or 4 times a year. It's going to happen. You're going to have a bad performance, and it might be that Saturday before Christmas.
Mm.
It might be. It could be any day. But what I don't like is everyone says, "Oh, that's because you didn't train," or "That's because you." It's got nothing to do with that. If we go Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, all the way up until Christmas, it's nothing to do with not training. Or sometimes it's good to give them the night off and just say, well, especially from our point of view at the moment, if we stay where we are, you know, we've had a fantastic first half of the season.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm trusting you. Have a night off, and we'll see you. Well, not Boxing Day on the 27th. They're not going to be in on the obviously Christmas Day, but whether we pull them in on that Tuesday, because again, you have all the things like the work dues and the I
Yeah.
don't know what happens with them. You've
Mm.
just got to monitor it, and then for me, just use a bit of common sense. I'm not dragging people all the way down there just to tick a box.
Mm.
It's called trusting your players and what I would call a good bit of man management.
Well, Burton have just taken the lead against Buxton. I think you can probably see it as well as I can.
Yeah.
Keeper at fault. Or could you not see it?
It's come at him. I mean, I think it's one of them. Looking at that, he should have just saved it with his feet. I don't think he
Yeah.
can get down and parry that. I'll be looking at him. He's a way out. Um, but I'd have thought, yeah, looking at that, he could have. There's no way he was going to get down on top of that because it was
Yeah.
quite close to his body. So, but yes, he's got to be unhappy with that. But they're well funded though, aren't they, Brackley? So they've got a really good setup there. Is that I don't even know who their manager is because I know that young lad went in and lasted a week, but I don't know who followed him because
I recognise the face, but I can't tell you who it is off the top of my head. But something I
yeah,
know it is, yeah.
yeah, I turned it
Right.
down when he come on, but I see him and I'm like, he looked a bit like Kevin Davis a little bit,
Mm.
but I don't know. There's got to be a connection there with Brackley, I'd have thought, but
So
Yeah, so it.
I mean, not in your league though. On that sort of, we're calling them the Boxing Day games, but the Christmas games. I mean, if you wasn't managing, which one would you go and see? I mean, you got AFC Whiteleaf versus AFC Croydon, Ashford v Hastings, Broadbridge versus Sevenoaks, Crowborough versus Eastbourne, East Grinstead Town versus Jersey, Hassocks versus Three Bridges, Herne Bay against Margate, Mersham against Sittingbourne, and then VCD against Deal.
I think if you live around here, I mean, Bay Margate, from a Kentish point of view, sticks out like a really good,
Yeah.
a good game to go and see. I might be a bit unjust on that goalie sitting out again, to be honest. Um, but yeah, it would be that um, if I was to, to go and see it. I mean, last year I went over to Hornchurch on New Year's Day. We didn't have a game, and ironically enough, they were playing Tunbridge. So I
Right.
thought, oh, that'd be nice. So went over there to see a few old faces, and obviously I know Macca and Gritty and Juppy and all the lads there, and Colin McBride at Hornchurch with Jimmy Mack. But it absolutely hammered down, and it got abandoned at half time. So it was one of them where it was that wet and cold. I couldn't even stay. I went, I've got to get home. Honestly, it was a really, real horrible day. But yeah, sometimes you pick a game out that's not even in your league.
Yeah.
If it's on that day. But yeah, looking at them, the one that sticks out to me, I mean, how we've got Whiteleaf on there, how they've worked that out, because it's supposed to be sort of like a local derby sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, Bay Margate, you've gone, yeah. Where are Dill? Are they on there?
Uh,
I didn't hear
Deal
them.
are, and by the way, the manager is Gavin Cohen.
Oh, I don't know him, yeah.
Deal are going to VCD.
See, even that, Dill's, up there. I mean, us and Whiteleaf is nowhere. I used to get this at Ashford. We used to go to, I think it was East Grinstead. And I'm like, what? You've got all these teams. Like we could have Sittingbourne. We could have just done belt and braces with Sheppey. Sheppey Boxing Day at theirs, New Year's Day at ours.
Hmm.
Two Kent teams, but we've got a real toughie. We've got obviously
Yeah.
Whiteleaf, but it just doesn't make sense regarding what the occasion's supposed to be. I mean, Boxing Day at Sheppey will be that should be a nice crowd
Hmm.
because they're well supported as well. It's not too, that is literally not too far at all from us. It's local, and yeah, you get that. But I don't understand the Whiteleaf one, because the rest of them, when you reel them off, they do all sound like, obviously apart from Jersey Bulls, they all do sound like localish games.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just curious, just while we're on the Boxing Day games and as such games, let's have a quick shift here. I'm interested because, of course, I go down to Waltham Abbey all the time. So let's just have a quick look and see Isthmian and North, just see how close some of those are. Where are we? There we go. So it's Bowers and Pitsea versus Concord.
Well, that's brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah. Branton Athletic versus Brightlingsea.
that's the team I was thinking of. Brighton, City Region. That was a slap. You could draw them in that Velocity Cup away. That's another one. Is that local to each other, them two?
I'm not sure. One's just outside Clacton area, isn't it? Brightlingsea.
Mm.
I'm not too sure where Brantham is. Cambridge City versus Takeley. Downham Town versus Mildenhall Town. Galston Wroxham, that's really close.
Yeah.
Grays against Tilbury, well, they're both at the same ground, so that's very close.
Oh, blimey, yeah.
Lowestoft Town versus Felixstowe and Walton. Malden and Tiptree against Haybridge.
That'd be a good, well, should be a good game, but I
I
think
think
they're
that'll
struggling
probably,
a little bit,
I
Avery.
was going to say the
Yeah,
way the things are going at the minute, it could be about 10-0. Uh,
yeah,
Newmarket Town versus Redbridge. That's a bit of a trek as well, isn't it?
isn't it?
Newmarket,
Yeah.
Redbridge. Stanway Rovers versus Whittam. And then the one that I'll be at, Waltham Abbey against Walthamstow, which is not too far at all, just up the road.
No, no. It's yeah, with what's going on at Malden and Tiptree at the moment.
What's your thoughts on that, Tommy?
I think it's brilliant. Listen, I'm all for it. It's just a lot of people will have a green-eyed monster about it all. You've got two gents that have gone in there and absolutely invested heavily into it. They
Yeah.
live in the area, they live around that area.
He lives in
That
town, yeah.
Yeah, they're back in the club,
Mm.
and I think it's fantastic and fair play to them. It's to be honest, they'd be obviously the team to beat. Looking at all the players they've brought in from Dagenham and Redbridge and
Yeah.
Chatham, they've obviously can pick and choose whatever they want, and I'm like, good luck to you. Why not? And I think it's great, and hopefully you got two lads there that are invested into the club fully, and not ones that are just going to disappear.
He's a nice bloke as well. And when we had him on the show just last year, actually, just a few months after, about a month or so after he'd actually taken charge. And when you speak to people and you speak to them and you think, yeah, he's talking out the back of his backside, like there's no, there's no interest. You just get him, it's just a plaything and they'll do this and they'll do that. And I said to people, I said, I interviewed him and I was convinced that he's true to his word, 100% true to his word. When you actually listen to what he was saying and the passion. And he said to me, he said it wasn't him, it was his partner that was passionate about football. He's just come along for the ride type thing. But if you listen to the passion that he had for that club in that interview alongside Gavin, it was just amazing. You think yourself, Struth. Do you know what I mean? It was,
Think to put your money into any football club. Um, we've got it with our chairman with Gary. But getting the 3G done and everything like that, the idea is, and I think we're not a million miles away, is the club self-sufficient because
Mm,
the pitches do make a massive difference regarding the revenue. And you've got these two gents at Malden and Tiptree that have, like I said, no one wanted to go and play at Malden and Tiptree last year,
mm.
but now because of what's going on over there, as a player, you hope your phone will go to
Well,
go and play for them.
you look at it, here. Freddie Sears used to play at West Ham.
Yeah.
He's playing for them. And then Michaeli Bond, who was at Leighton Orient, smashing goals in for fun at Leighton Orient.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And he's there now as well.
Yeah, and also the Dagenham and Redbridge boys that have gone in.
Yeah.
They took the best players from Dagenham and Redbridge. So no, listen, I'm like I said, a lot of it will be again probably that stigma of like I was saying earlier, when they win, well you're supposed to win, and when they lose, it's a massive.
Yeah.
They just get on. I mean, I'm sure they're big enough and ugly enough as footballers and a management team just to get on with it because deep down, like I say to my boys, everyone in that other changing room would love to be sitting down in here with you.
Well, the funny
Um,
thing is, I think the last game they lost was that nice trek that you was talking about, the Brighton Sea.
I was it.
Yeah, they lost 3-2. But here's the game's Premier Division. Again, you'll know some of these teams and how far away they are from each other. Burgess Hill Town versus Chichester City. Canvey Island versus Billericay. Carshalton versus Dulwich. Uh, Chatham v Dartford.
Brilliant.
Cray Wanderers versus Cray Valley.
Oh yeah,
Hashtag against Aveley.
yeah.
Potter's Bar versus Cheshunt, which I know is literally because the two clubs quite close to me, so just around the corner. Ramsgate against Folkestone and Victor. St Albans versus Wingate and Finchley. Welling United versus Brentwood Town. And White Hawk versus Lewis.
Well, that's a proper Sussex derby. That one, Whitehawk and Lewis. Yeah, there's some good games in there. Obviously, the Chatham one looks good. That could be a 2,500, 3,000 up there, I reckon, for that one. There's some obviously Folkestone have got a little, a nice little coastal trip down to Ramsgate.
Mm.
There's some,
Oh,
yeah, there's some good ones in there. And they sit and they all seem half sensible. They all seem, yeah, I get that, I get that, I get that. And that's all you want to do when you look at them fixtures. So that does seem like a real, and like I said, I don't know why. Just to simplify things, that they just don't spin them around for New Year's Day.
mm.
Just do this. I know it's twice in 5 days, but um, I'm sure if it's like it was there and you get Gates, both teams would welcome that because they'd be really well supported.
And Folkestone flying at the minute.
Ah, it's unbelievable, Jay. Yeah, he's done really well. They've invested. He's got another centre half in on loan, Sam German. Um, we had him on loan at Ashford. Very, very good player. Got a good future ahead of him. And obviously Bromley are on the ascendancy. So he's going to find it tough to break into the first team. But all he can do is do what he's doing. He's playing for he's getting loaned out to the better teams in the divisions that they're going to.
So I mean, with with Faversham itself, is the actual sort of like goal when you first, when you started the season this year? it's a weird thing to say for such a big club like Fashion. But did you look at it? Did the chairman say, look, we were looking at class this year, or just stability, or was it straight away, look, while we're on a good run, while we've got a good feeling inside the club, let's look and see if we can get to step three. And Ratcliffe just equalised as well.
Oh, you're in front of me then. What from the corner? Yeah, you're in front of me then. Um, yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, I think we do it ourselves. Wherever we go, we're going to win every game. I know it's an old saying and whatever, but I've never really had an inferiority complex in football because if you do that, you're going to come unstuck. As
Mm,
long as you just give everything. Um, I think what the club are wary of is not to take anything for granted because, like I said, on paper, the side they had that got relegated was a really good side, full of experience, um, and they got relegated. And the hardest thing is to get out. I mean, that league is just an unforgiving league.
mm,
So they had 2 seasons in there. Like I said, the first year we just felt short. Um, and it's easier said than done, but to go back the following year and actually win it is nothing to be sniffed at. But going into this, the most important thing is not to throw all that hard work away.
mm,
We, quietly knew we had players that have played at this level, so there's no reason, that oh why not, there's no reason, but there's loads of hard work ahead of us. But we've had a really really good start, and like I said, I'm more than happy with our league position irrelevant. Obviously, now we're 6 points off, but that's what can happen. But like I said, that's through no fault of our own. And all we've got to do is make sure we win that game in hand and just try and keep that close gap. And I always say to the boys, never ever look behind. No matter what you do, just look in front. If you start looking behind and looking at all the permutations, you're gonna come unstuck because we started November, loss. I mean, oh, that's how quick football can change. But that
mm,
was in, going from, like I said, I think it was 30 games unbeaten, and then you lose two in 5 days. And then you think, oh, God, but it didn't, again, results must have been thrown up elsewhere as well because there was, I was expecting to see a big gap appearing or whatever, but there wasn't. And then we've managed to win the last three, and it's kept us in contention. So, the expectations to go out is to go out and win every single game, but the reality of it all is another thing. But there's no, we want to do this and go up in here or playoffs or whatever. It was just, I think that should be every club's target. Um, we just get on with it, and you're in control of your own destiny. And if it's not good enough, you've got to change it. But thankfully, we haven't. From our point of view, we'll always strengthen if there's something that's going to make us stronger, but not on the knee bolt reaction of a couple of losses.
How difficult though is that as being a manager? If you get onto that sort of like you said like the year the club actually went down. I know you wasn't part of it, but when you get to that sort of situation where you get onto a bad run and then all of a sudden you lose another one and then you lose another one. How difficult is that to then turn that around and how is it? What's the diff? Well, I know the difference is you're losing and the other side you're winning, but you've got that same scenario when you keep winning every week as well. What makes you being able to get the team to keep winning every week, and how do you sort of turn it around if you do go on a big losing streak? Because
You just got to,
Slot needs
yeah,
to know. Yeah.
yeah. It's just yeah, I'll tell him what to do. And I blimey, I feel for him at the moment, to be fair, because like I said, it's all very good when it's going well, but when it don't go well, you do see different sides to people, and clubs as well. As a team, as fans, and fans were asking for his head after I think 2 losses or something, three
Yeah.
losses. You know, um, I mean, for me, it's just what you see. It's how you lose the game. Um, if you keep letting him pour goals, obviously you've got to look to change it. But you just don't change it for the sake of it. You've got to change it for the better, and it has got to strengthen the side. But the other thing is to believe, why these players, they're not going to become bad players overnight. Um, but it just depends on what you call a catastrophe. I mean, to lose two on the spin, obviously wasn't nice, but if you lost on the Saturday, you put it down to, for me, it'll be like a really poor week, but it's 3 losses and you just get on with it. The Deal? I don't think we deserved anything at Deal, if you want the truth. And the other one, I thought we could have got something out of it, and that sounds mad at 4-1. Um, but it's just how you lose. I think that's the expression. It's not, and also how you win. You can play really badly. Like I said, the Beckenham game, fair play to them.
Mm,
And we beat them. But if we play like that week in, week out, we're gonna lose more games than we win.
mm,
So it's not. It's just. I just think it's about not kidding yourself. And what you said earlier. If we all do these interviews after the game now. I'd like to think what I say on there is pretty honest, whether it's good or not. I'm not one of them that are going to hide behind a result. And like again, I've used that Beckenham game because I went on there straight away. I mean, I'd be gutted if I was them. They should have come away with a point. Let alone I thought they should have won it. Um, so I just think it's important to if you want to sort of keep any integrity in football. Um, Not so much the word respect or whatever, because I just think that's you should respect everyone that you play against them because it's fair play to you for having for actually doing it. But if you start rambling and making things up and and people are at the game and they're like, you at the same game as me. It's
mm.
always every goal you let in is always going to be something you're not happy with because you've let a goal in. It'll always start from something. So that's the obvious. But if you deserve something out of the game, um, then it's worth mentioning. But if you don't, there's no point trying to sugarcoat it. Just say it as it is. But the one thing I've never ever done is one panic because if you do that, then obviously that sets the tone of the room. Um, is install that belief back in them. But if it doesn't work, then obviously you've got to change it. That's football. Otherwise, you get changed.
We'll just to finish with, or close to finishing here, we've just had a message come in from a certain Mr. Sam Wright saying Tommy's definitely one of the good guys of non-league football.
Is that Sam Wright?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's over at SE Dons now, I think. I think
there you
right,
go.
he's helping them out. Yeah, good. He's a good bloke. I know him from my Cray Wanderers day.
Yeah.
Listen, mate, I am what I am. I'm obviously one of the older managers now, unfortunately. But I'd just like to think that I try and keep things simple because I think football is a simple game that's got massively overcomplicated. I think it's improved, which it should do technically, yet um, the physicality side of it, the fitness of it, the organisation of it. Yeah, brilliant. Love it all. Systems. What's the right one? What's the wrong one? What's the right ball? What's the wrong ball? It's just about opinions. There's no right or wrong. The most important thing is to win and enjoy it. But all the stuff that's going into it now, some of it I think is too much. Again, we bring up that VAR. I'm all for having a mistake. The linesman didn't get it right, the ref didn't get it right. But I'm also one of them that would like to be able to have I think the word in your debate with a ref and the linesman about them coming over throwing cards at
Mm,
you. Just saying, look, that ain't offside. What you're doing, and again, the ref's giving it back as well.
mm.
It's just I do think that side of the game's changed a hell of a lot without going overboard on it. But I would definitely scrap the VAR thing. I mean, was it 5 minutes the other day to get a goal on the, and that's at the highest level.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. And this is where you see all the muscles getting pulled now, and because they're all standing around waiting for the VAR. Obviously, injuries are going to happen, but the most important thing, mate, is I love football. I still love it. I'm still passionate about it. And all the time I feel that, I'll keep doing it. And at the moment, it's going well for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, Tommy, thanks for joining us. We do wish you and Faversham all the very, very best for the rest of the season and hope everybody there has a fantastic Christmas as well. Also, as well, of course, next week we'll be back next week, and of course, then on the 22nd we'll have our Christmas special, and it's a fantastic interview that I've spoken about quite a few times. We have a gentleman called Chris Watney, of course, down at Corinthian Casuals, and he takes us behind the scenes, of course, of the BT Sport documentary, Brothers in Football. And he's an absolutely fascinating chat, and he talks to us about what happened when they went to Corinthians in Brazil and so forth, and how they managed to get there in the first place, and the story behind the whole show. It's a great chat, so please join us for that. That's the 22nd And that'll be live only on YouTube on that evening. So we'll put all that in. We're going to show you some clips as well in the coming weeks as well, over the next few days or so, of that interview as well. So you can get a little bit of a taster of what that interview is all about as well. Don't forget, the show itself has been nominated in the Non-League Bible Awards for Podcast of the Year. So please, if you can, go over to the Non-League Bible website and vote for the show Non-League Roundup. We'd be really, really grateful. We're up against some big hitters in there, so not expecting to win. But after 15 years of literally promoting non-league football, it would be nice to get a little bit back if we possibly can after 15 years. But from me and from Tommy as well, I'll see you next week. Good night.
Cheers, Dave.